Welcome to Kids in Tennis, a nonprofit grassroots tennis organization that introduces inner-city, at-risk children of color to tennis. Why, in just 5 short years, Kids in Tennis has grown into one of Oregon's premier culturally and ethnically diverse junior tennis programs.
Kids in Tennis was started when I was, one day I was driving down 7th Avenue during the summer, and I saw a kid at the park hitting some balls against the wall. I stopped and asked him, take a look at his equipment. And I asked him if he participated in the summer program, and he said no. And I asked him if he knew anything about a summer program at Irving Park, and he said no. So then I took it upon myself to make some inquiries to the United States Tennis Association, its Pacific Northwest Tennis Association division, which services Oregon, Washington, Vancouver, BC, and Alaska. And they informed me that the Portland Tennis Center was the chapter for our city. So I came over here, asked Mr. Flynn what was going on in the Northeast Portland communities as far as tennis was concerned, and he said that there was nothing going on because he couldn't convince a staff to come work at our parks, because at that time they felt that the gangs were an undesirable element that was keeping the people from participating. So I made a deal with him. I said, well, if you let myself and my staff work at the park for a summer, would you come back the next year with funding? And he said yes, and we ran it the first year. This year, in summer of 1994, will be our 5th year at the park. He supported us for one summer, and then due to budgetary cuts, he removed the program from financial support from the program from Irving Park.
Kids in Tennis operate year-round with our fall-winter training program and the Irving Park Summer Tennis Camp. All right, young man, what's your name?
Baylor.
Baylor what?
Shaw.
Baylor Shaw, how old are you?
10.
How long you been playing tennis?
About 2 years.
2 years. You pretty good at it?
Yep, pretty good.
What's some of the things you've learned from Kids in Tennis?
I've learned my forehand, my backhand, and my volleys, right hand and backhand, and I'm getting a real good at the game. And my dad's been taking me to a lot of these other ones too.
Tell me, Baylor, has there been anything you've learned in tennis that you've been able to carry over playing with your friends or in your home life, in your school life? Any things you've learned by playing tennis you've been able to carry over?
Yeah, forehand, my backhand, and my volleys.
We felt that since we had a number of kids who was interested, who had been with us not only in the summer, but had signed up for some indoor tennis lessons, there was a need for us to go back out there again. So I put out the word through the community that I was looking for someone to help me develop a comprehensive tennis program for the children of Northeast Portland, specifically the Albina, Irvington area.
So are all these kids from the Albina, Irvington area?
No. Right now, we have approximately about 60% of our kids live in the Northeast Portland, Northeast Portland area. The rest of the kids are either from Southeast or from Southwest. One of the things that we've tried to do with Kids in Tennis is to establish a program where kids, first of all, if they want to continue to participate in basketball, football, soccer, and other sports, they're more than welcome. But we want them to understand that, first of all, most African American males gravitate toward basketball. The next sport is football, and there's only so many scholarships that are available out there. Tennis, it's a new frontier, especially for African American males and more so with females. And there's a lot of scholarships that go unclaimed, not only through the United States Tennis Association, but with colleges all the way from the NIA division to Division 3, 2, and 1. And one of the things that we've emphasized to kids is that you don't have to play at a major college to be successful in tennis. Also, that we're not trying to groom kids to become professionals. What we want kids to recognize, and this is one of the shortcomings of basketball, is that there are other options available to them within their respective sports other than playing on a professional level. The tennis industry has a lot of opportunities for kids to become teaching professionals, to participate in their programming and go back in their communities and work as volunteers and eventually paid staff.
With the assistance and guidance of our staff, we hope to help kids improve their game and make it fundamentally sound. We hope to improve their conditioning and fitness. We hope to expand their awareness of tactics and on-court strategies. We hope to help them become more mentally tough during match and tournament play. And finally, to teach, model, and encourage tennis etiquette and good sportsmanship.
One of the things that when we looked at the program, we said we got to look at not only the physical, the psychological elements that are involved in tennis, but for our kids, there's an opportunity for them to go and visit places as a team that they may not have had the opportunity to travel outside their respective communities. Oftentimes our kids are community bound. They travel within their own community, their own circles, the malls and the high schools. So what we tried to do was develop a program where we go together as a team. We take kids a yearly trip to Mount Hood. That trip is open not only to any kid in our program, but the kids can bring their friends along. We take kids to day field trips to Bellevue, Washington, Robbinswood Tennis Center, Seattle Tennis Center, Mount Lake Terrace, and we participate against other clubs, private and public, on a home-and-home series. So our kids get an opportunity to travel and to get to know each other. Another thing that we did with the kids on that level is we got a program that we worked through the Peer Support Network, which comes out of the Augustana Lutheran Church, and it's called the Eating for Etiquette program. We know that all kids, regardless of what sport they participate in, if they stay in it long enough, they're going to go to a banquet. So when is the best time to introduce the kids to the social skills? When you work with predominantly at-risk kids, and for us, any kid that has free time on his hand that's unstructured is potentially a kid at risk. But we felt that our kids needed to go through this program because we were not confident that the parenting that they were receiving would cover those aspects. So those are our three basic programs in addition to tennis.
Any part of that game that you've learned carried over in your regular life, in your school life, in your home life?
To be a good sports person and to not be foul and be nice and meet people.
Would you recommend this sport over, let's say, a sport such as football or basketball? Well, I guess for girls it would be, what, basketball,
Yeah.
volleyball?
Yeah.
You recommend it over that?
No, you could play both because I play both. I play basketball and tennis. So I have enough time to fit it in because they're two different times in school.
Two different disciplines, you're able to merge the two?
Yeah, because tennis is in the spring and basketball is in the winter. So
Would you recommend tennis, and why would you recommend it to another young person?
because, I would recommend tennis, and because it's a lifetime sport, and you don't have to be a certain age to play it. As long as you're fit, or if you're not, then you can get fit to play. So it's a lifetime sport.
What have you learned from kids in tennis?
Teamwork.
What does that mean?
I learned to get along with people, and I learned to play better and know how to play with two people, not just one person.
Kids in tennis provide young people with discipline, coordination, and physical strength, enabling them to withstand the volleys that life will throw their way.